exercise just to practice how we read fractions, okay? So this is the exercise I sent to your WhatsApp, okay? And we are going to start today's lesson by correcting this exercise first before I move on to our topic. Well, so you have here some shapes. Can you see? We call these things here shapes in English. Olha, shapes. Shapes são formas. And here in this exercise, you have three different shapes. You have two circles, as you can see there, right? You have some rectangles, and you can also see a triangle. So pay attention to pronunciation. I say circles, I say rectangles, and you have only one triangle, okay? And as you can see here, they have been divided into smaller parts, okay? And some parts are shaded. Can you see this word here? Just pay attention to the instruction, and in the instruction you can see the word shaded, the expression shaded area. Shaded here means that that area has been colored, okay? So as you can see here, for example, take a look at number 1. This is the example. You have a circle. The circle has been divided into 5 parts, but only 4 parts are shaded. So the shaded area has 4 parts, okay? The question is, write the fraction, the instruction is, write the fraction for each shaded area in number, just like this here, and then in word form, okay? Well, so the first one is 4/5, né, com S, as you can see here, and then you have the others. Douglas, can you tell me the fraction for number 2, please? Number 2. Douglas? No? Isn't Douglas here, guys? Maria de Fátima, can you open the microphone, please?
Yes.
Maria, can you do the number 2 for us, please?
2/5.
50ths? Or can you see here? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, right?
6?
Yes. Quantas estão pintadas? 2, não é?
2.
So, 2. Aqui, acho que cortou seu som para mim, eu não vi você falando. Então é isso aqui, né, que você falou? 2/6, né? 2/6.
No. No.
No?
My image. 5 parts.
5 parts, but here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts.
Sorry.
I have 6 parts, and 2 of them are shaded. Can you see?
2/6.
Yes, just like this one here, okay? Let me help you guys. Maria, you are gonna do the next one too, okay? Just a moment. Do you remember, guys, that you have to use the ordinal numbers? So the number that goes below the line, aqui embaixo, olha, the denominator is read like an ordinal number. So é por isso que a Maria disse assim, pessoal, 2/6. The word sexto in English is 6, né? Com TH. But as you have here the number 2, it's plural, then you have to write the S here. So you have to say 2/6, okay? Maria, can you do number 3 for us, please? Maria?
Yes. One moment. 3/7.
1/7, exactly. So 1/7, right? Just like this. Thank you, Fatima. Juliane, can you open the microphone, please?
Yes.
Hi, Juliane. Good evening.
Good evening.
Juliane, can you do number 4 and 5 for us?
4. 1/50.
1/5. Okay, just a moment. I'm going to write here. Is this correct, Juliane? 1/5?
Yes.
Okay, can you read the number 5, please?
Number 5. 5/60.
5. Just like that, right? So, 5/60 com S, né? Ou sem S? What do you think? Do I have to write the letter S here or no S?
No S.
No S? No, it's com S, ó. Lembra, quando em cima é 1, a gente não põe S nenhum, tá vendo?
Sorry.
But, okay, that's no problem. But pay attention, when the number which is above the line, quando o número de cima, ó, the number above the line is plural, the other one has to be in the plural too, tá vendo aqui, ó? Toda vez que em cima é maior que 1, ó, 2/60, 5/60, ok? Thank you, Juliane. Leonardo tá aí?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so Leonardo, can you do 6 and 7 for us, please?
1/7.
So just a moment. 1/7, just like that, Leonardo?
Yes.
1/7. Okay. Number 7, please.
3/5.
3/5, right? Is this plural or singular?
It's plural.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. So 3/5. Tá vendo, pessoal? Leonardo pôs o S porque aqui tá o 3 está no plural, ok? Katia, can you read the number 8 for us? Can you do number 8?
6, 7 com S.
Yes. Com S. So perfect, Katia. Thank you very much. 6/7, né? 6/7. So in English we say 6/7. Aí põe o S, just like Katia said, okay? And you see, guys, very simple, okay? I'm just showing you how we read the numbers, okay? The fractions. Now, pay attention to something that I didn't tell you about in our other class on Monday, okay? I showed you on Monday night a text when I was starting my lesson, okay? The text I showed you is this one here, so just take a look. I think you remember this picture here. Remember, I was just starting my class and then I showed you this picture. I told you that in this picture here, we have a fraction, one example of a fraction. You can see it here, can you see? Oh, 2/3. 2/3 of Americans get news on social media. Oh, aliás, about 2/3. Aproximadamente 2/3. Aí o Douglas me perguntou sobre o uso do hífen. Aí eu falei para ele, bom, a gente não usa o hífen. A gente não usa o hífen, pessoal, quando a gente está falando. A gente não precisa pronunciar o hífen, tá bom? Então, olha só. Aqui, vocês podem até, o próprio exercício não tem o hífen, tá vendo? No exemplo. Just take a look at the example. 4/5. Because the example just wants you to read the fraction. So we say 4/5. We don't say 4-5. We say 4/5. But pay attention. Usually, when they write the fraction, quando se escreve a fração, usually we write the two parts we separate the two parts with the hyphen. So I would write like this. Inside a text, eu tô falando, tá bom? Inside a text, dentro de texto. But you don't pronounce the hyphen, okay? That's it. Bom, moving back here to the exercise, you have number 9 and then number 10. Take a look at the instruction here now. Olha só, instructions. Read each problem and circle the correct answer. Vamos lá, então. Deixa eu ver aqui. Rachel, can you read this question here for us and tell us the correct answer, please?
Okay, it rained 3 days last week. What fraction of the week did it rain? 3/7.
3/7 com S, né?
Com S.
Okay, so can you see, guys? All the answers have the number 7 as a denominator. Can you see? All the answers are just the same if you take a look at the denominator. But you have to choose the correct answer. There is only one correct answer. And just like Rachel said, the correct answer is this one here. It's 3/7. Someone, how do you know that? Well, I told you that the numerator represents the number we are talking about. So we are talking about 3 days, okay? So it rained only during 3 days. And the number that goes below the line, the denominator, represents the total number of days we have in a week, okay? Tá vendo? So in a week, em uma semana, I have 7 days in a week. So this is my total number of parts, okay? This is the reason why the number 7 goes below the line. And then the other question, Rachel, please. Can you read the other question for us?
Okay. Out of 5 children, 3 are unwell.
Unwell, yes.
Unwell. What fractions are 6?
What fraction are sick? Can you give us the answer, Rachel?
Okay. 3/5.
3/5. Yes. Pay attention to pronunciation, guys. Foi até bom você falar 5th, Rachel, para eu chamar a atenção de vocês para isso. Olha só. Número cardinal, 5, we say 5, né? A gente fala com som de A, ok? 5, ok? 5. But o número quinto, we don't say 5th. Muitos alunos acham que é 5th, but it's not 5th. We say with the sound of E. So we pronounce this letter I here with the sound of the letter E in Portuguese. We say 5th, okay? So what's the answer again, Rachel? What's the answer again?
3/5.
5th is com S, né?
Yes, plural.
Okay, that's correct. That's the correct answer, okay? Just pay attention to that.
Tá, isso que eu ia te perguntar. Esse anuel é indisposto, doente, é o quê?
Indisposto ou doente. Eu até tinha escrito aqui, ó, tá vendo? Deixa eu ver se eu consigo aumentar. Ó, o out of 5 children, 3 are unwell, né? Unwell é sick, Anderson. É como se você... When you feel unwell... deixa eu só corrigir aqui, pessoal, just a moment. So, when you feel unwell, that means that you don't feel well, okay? It's just the same. So, when you feel unwell, significa que você está passando mal, que você não está se sentindo bem, ou seja, que você está indisposto. Unwell é doente ou indisposto, ok? And the answer is the third one, right? Just like Rachel said, the answer is this one here, 3/5. Tá vendo, ó? The total number of children is this here. We have 5 children, but I am only talking about 3, okay? So only 3 children are feeling unwell. That's it, guys. And then I've finished fractions, okay? And now we are going to move on to the second part of this lesson, okay? So I was talking about percentages in our other class, and in today's lesson we are going to focus on graphs, okay? On types of graphs and how we can talk about graphs in English, okay? So my class here today, again, is not to teach you math, okay? I am here to teach you vocabulary so that you can compare graphs or talk about the data you can find in a graph, okay? So let's start with the basics, okay? So pay attention. What is a graph? Well, I can define a graph as a visual way of displaying data. So pay attention to this definition here, okay? First of all, I'd like to understand that I can say graph or I can say chart, okay? Chart também significa gráfico, okay? So what is a chart or what is a graph? You have here a very basic definition, okay? A graph is a visual way of displaying data. Samuel, I don't understand the word displaying. What does the word display mean? Display is the same as show. É mostrar, exibir, tá bom? And data are information, okay? Information, but when you consider it in the plural. Data são dados, informações relevantes, okay? Well, having said that, let's focus here on what graphs are and how we can talk about them, okay? So first of all, I'd like to tell you that there are many types of graphs, okay? We are not going to talk about them all. I am just going to show you 4 types of graphs, and I have here some examples, and we're going to do some exercises during today's lesson. So you are going to be speaking a little bit, okay? So I will explain you the characteristics of a graph, and then we do an exercise, okay? So basically, I will be talking about 4 different kinds of graphs, okay? So I will be talking about 4 different kinds of graphs, of charts, okay? So let's start with a very simple one. I think in our other class, I've already talked about this one. I'm going to start with the pie chart, okay? So the pie chart, as I told you in our other class, is a circular graph, okay? A circular graph. And in Portuguese, we call it gráfico pizza or gráfico em setores. But remember, I told you that in English, we don't say that, okay? In English, we say pie chart. A gente diz gráfico torta, tá bom? Cada setor é como se fosse a fatia de uma torta. So pay attention. This is a pie chart, okay, as you all know. And a pie chart is a circle divided into sectors, okay? Each part I have here is called a sector, okay? So this is a pie chart. I can divide it into smaller parts, and each part is called a sector. Pay attention to this word here, sector. This is the reason why we can call it in Portuguese gráfico de setores, because each part here is a sector. And each sector represents a percentage of the whole, okay? So the whole circle is 100%. And each part represents just, each sector represents just a percentage of that whole, of that 100%, okay, as you all know, okay? I just want you to call your attention to that, because as you can see here, all the parts are in percentage. Can you see 36%, 27%, 15%, 22%? Samuel, why is this relevant? How can I use this information? How can I talk about a pie chart? Well, as I told you, I have here some exercises, okay? So pay attention to this other pie chart I'm gonna show you now. So here I have some more information. Can you see? I have here a circle divided into 4 parts. The yellow part here represents other, but other what? You can just take a look at the question here. What flavor of ice cream do you eat the most? So this was the question that was asked to some people. Qual sabor, né? Flavor quer dizer sabor. What flavor, qual sabor de ice cream do you eat the most? So the answers are chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, and the people also mentioned other flavors, but they are not so relevant as these other 3 flavors I have here, okay? So I could ask you something like, what percentage of people said that they prefer vanilla? You understand the question? What percentage of people said that they prefer vanilla? Aí você vem com a resposta, olha. 30, remember how to say ponto in English?
Point.
Yes, exactly. Em português, vocês se lembram? Seria assim, ó, 38,62%. But just take a look at the graph here. This graph here is in English. This is the reason why they don't have a comma here, because a comma would be Portuguese, and we have here information in English. So this is the reason I have the point. So when I read it, I have to pronounce the word point. I have to say 38.62%. Okay, so this is the answer to the question I have up here. So what percentage of people said that they prefer vanilla? Eu poderia completar aqui com a palavra sorvete, não? Vanilla ice cream, sorvete de baunilha, tá? Vanilla é baunilha. And then you say 38.62%, or you could be the entire answer. You could say, for example, 38.62% of people said that they prefer vanilla ice cream. And then Rachel, vamos lá. Rachel, what percentage of people said that they prefer chocolate ice cream?
46.53%. 50%. 3%.
Could you repeat that, please?
Okay. 46.53%. 50%. 3%.
53%, ok? Can you see, guys? Very simple. Eu vou do básico para o avançado hoje, tá? Então fiquem espertos aí que a aula vai ficar pesada daqui a pouco, ok? So, as you can see, I am just teaching you how to express, how to talk about the information you have there in the graph, okay? Using sentences, okay? So now let's move ahead, okay? I'm gonna show you another pie graph, okay? But now you have much more information. In fact, you will have 2 pie graphs together, okay? So just a moment. I will just copy the picture here. Take a look at this other picture now. Can you see? You have here an enormous amount of information, okay? I'm gonna make it just like that, leave it just like that, okay? Can you see? I think you can see it, okay? It's not so clear. I got it from the internet, but I think you can understand the words here. So can you see here? I have 2 years being compared. I have the year 2000 and the year 2016, okay? Let me explain to you what these 2 pie charts here are referring to. So they are showing you Turkey's economy in 2 different years. É a economia da Turquia, okay? And how it changed over time. Tá vendo? Se passaram 16 years and they are comparing the Turkey's economy in 2000 to Turkey's economy in 2016, ok? Lembrando, Turkey quer dizer Turquia, o país, tá? A economia da Turquia, economia turca. So, can you see here? I have pie charts. Each sector here is representing a sector of economy. Can you see? Oh, this green part here is representing the sector called agriculture. This yellow sector here is representing the sector of construction. And then, for example, here, this one here is referring to healthcare and education, or saúde, educação. And then this other one here, 14% of the whole represents trade, comércio, and transportation, and blah, 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 okay? So, Samuel, what do you want to tell us about these pie charts here? I want to teach you how to compare information, okay? So take a look at the information here about the construction sector. So take a look. In 2000, tá vendo aqui? Era 3% do total. Depois, em 2016, já pulou para 10%. Então, houve um aumento. Quase o triplo, mais do que o triplo, na verdade. Tudo bem? O triplo seria 9%, e foi para 10%, ou seja, more than 3 vezes de aumento. So, how do I say that? Let's start with the basics. Let's focus here. Como é que eu falo, por exemplo? Em 2000, a construção representava 3% da economia turca. Então, olha só, pay attention, seria assim, ó. In 2000, vírgula. Aí eu tô falando da construção, ó. Construction sector, ou simplesmente construction, ok? Aí eu quero falar assim, ó, representava. I don't know if you remember, but I explained to you in our other class how to say representava nesses casos aqui. We have to use the verb account for. Account for, and account for is a regular verb, so it's say accounted for. So, o que é accounted for? É a mesma coisa que represented. Então, ao invés de você falar represented, você vai falar assim, ó, in 2000, construction accounted for, quantos por cento? Ó, 3% of Turkey's economy. Do you understand the sentence? Well, in 2000, construction represented 3% of Turkey's economy. Okay, Fatima, can you open your microphone, please?
Yes.
Fatima, how do you say? Em 2016, a construção representava 10% da economia. How do you say that? In 2000?
And 2016,
Yes, 2016, sorry. 2016.
the construction.
Só falar construction.
Construction accounted for 10% of Turkey's economy.
Yes, a gente fala assim, ó, economy. Yes, economy, ok? Sorry, economy. Tá vendo, pessoal? Bem fácil, ó. In 2016, construction accounted for 10% of Turkey's economy. So, as you can see here, it tripled. Can you see? Now, it more than tripled. Do you understand the sentence here? It more than tripled.
Mais que triplicou?
Mais que triplicou. Vocês entenderam por que triplicou, né? Ó, 3% vezes 3 seria 9%, né? Mas foi para 10, então, ó, it more than tripled. Okay? Well, that's it. So can you see? You can use basic sentences like this to compare information, okay? Okay, now pay attention to these arrows I have here. I have this arrow here, this green arrow pointed upward, and I have this red arrow here pointed downward. Samuel, how do I say seta in English? Tô vendo que você tá falando aí arrow, é isso? É isso. Então, ó, arrow é como eu falo seta, tá bom? Ó, seta. E eu tenho aqui dois tipos de seta. Eu tenho uma seta pointed upward, que quer dizer apontada para cima. Tá vendo aqui? The green one is pointed upward. And I have another one, the red one. Olha, the red arrow is pointed downward. Downward quer dizer em direção para baixo, ao pé da letra, tá? E a outra, upward, em direção para cima. So, here I have this one pointed downward. So, why are they here? They are showing you that, for example, constructions, when we compare Turkey's economy in 2016 to 2000, we can see that there was an increase in this sector. Então, ó, no caso das setas verdes, você tem a informação de que there was an increase in that sector. Houve um aumento, tudo bem? Houve um aumento. So pay attention to the word increase. Oh, there was an increase in that sector. Por outro lado, on the other hand, when you have the arrow pointed downward, you can see that there was a decrease. Can you see? Decrease is how we say diminuição. Houve uma queda. Eu já vou ensinar outras palavras para vocês falarem dessas coisas, tá? Mas por enquanto, tá bom? Como eu falei para vocês, eu vou de forma graduada. Eu vou do básico para o mais avançadinho, tá bom? So, you can see here, olha, decrease, vem da palavra decrescer, tá? Decréscimo, so you can understand it as diminuição, redução. And here you have, cadê a palavra? Increase, que é aumento. Tudo bem? Any question? Or no question? Can I move ahead? Posso seguir adiante?
Yes, no question.
Yes. Então vejam só. Eu acho que vocês entendem o que eu estou fazendo. Eu estou tentando mostrar a vocês o vocabulário, ok? So that you can compare things. Eu não vou ficar fazendo muitos, porque eu não tenho tempo, ok? Because I have other things to show you, ok? Aí depois vocês tentam ir fazendo. Tipo, eu fiz aqui a comparação do setor de construção, but you could talk about agriculture, for example. So, for example, when you compare agriculture sector in 2000 to what happened in 2016, you can see that, you know, there was a reduction. It went from 24% to 14%. So there was a decrease. Tá vendo? Ó? Vou falar de novo. Ó. The agriculture sector was accounted for, tá vendo? Eu posso dizer, accounted for 24% of Turkey's economy in 2000. Then in 2016, it accounted for just 14%. So we can notice that there was a decrease over time. Over time quer dizer com o passar dos anos, ó. Over time. Você pode falar, there was a decrease over time. Houve uma redução com o passar dos anos, ok? E assim por diante, tá bom, pessoal? Como eu falei para vocês, eu não estou aqui para ensinar vocês a lerem gráficos. Eu estou aqui para ensiná-los vocabulário and how you can use these words to talk about the data that you have in those graphs, okay? Well, so moving on, now we are going to talk about a second type of graph, okay? So we have the pie chart. As you could see, the pie chart is a circle divided into parts, okay? Now I'm going to talk about a second type, and this is the bar graph. Or we can also say bar chart, okay? I'm going to write here, bar chart. What is a bar? Bar é uma coluna, okay? So you will notice that the bar chart has this name because it's made up of bars. Olha, it is made up of. Remember this expression here? I used this expression in our other class. Eu estava falando assim, uma fração is made up of two parts. Uma fração é made up of two parts, é composta por duas partes. Então, ó, it is made up of bars. Ele é feito de bars. This is the reason why we have the word bars. O que são bars, professor? You can understand bars as columns. Columns, colunas, okay? And we have two axes. We have the y-axis, o eixo y, and the x-axis, e o eixo x. Então, ó, eu tenho two axes, vejam que aqui é com e, tá? Porque tá no plural. I have two axes, eu tenho dois eixos. Um na vertical, é o eixo y, the y-axis, and I have the x-axis, que fica na horizontal, in the horizontal. I'm gonna show you now, okay? So, you already know what I am talking about. So, just a moment. I have here a bar graph, okay? I'm just gonna show you now my bar graph. Just a moment, guys. I am copying here. So take a look. This is a bar graph. So as you can see here, I have bars and I have two axes, okay? The y-axis is vertical and you have the x-axis, which is horizontal. Here, in this case, they are talking about the quantities of fruits sold on a specific period of time, okay? So you have on the, just a moment, you have here on the x-axis the names of the fruits, okay? And here you have the quantities of fruits, and they are in kilograms, okay? So they are in kilograms, as you can see there, okay? Well, as you all know, the size of the column, altura, the height of the column represents quantity, okay? So, for example, nesse período de tempo, ó, they sold 35 kilograms of apples. Can you see? So, in this period of time here, they sold 35 kilograms, não foram 35 maçãs, foram 35 kilograms. You have to really understand the information here. Tem aluno que vê que 35, foram 35 maçãs, professor. No, 35 kilograms, 35 quilos. Okay, they sold 35 kilograms of apples, right? How can I say that using another sentence? I could say, 35 kilograms of apples were sold. O nosso passivo, 35 quilos de maçãs foram vendidas. So I can say they sold 35 kilos of apples, or 35 kilos of apples were sold. Okay, guys? Juliane, can you open a microphone, please?
Yes.
Juliane, how many grapes were sold in this period of time here, Juliane? Or how many grapes? How many grapes?
5 kilograms of grapes were sold.
Perfect. And can you tell me about the quantity of oranges they sold? How many oranges did they sell?
30 kilograms of oranges were sold.
Very much. Did they sell? Mas continua aí, por favor, ok? Passa só para o Leonardo agora. Okay? Leonardo, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so Leonardo, did they sell more kiwis or more bananas?
They sold more kiwis than bananas.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you see, guys? I can use words like more something than something, okay? Or more A than B. Just like Leonardo said, he said, they sold more kiwis than bananas. As you can see here, when you compare, can you see it's visual? Remember, I told you the definition of a graph is a visual way of displaying data. So you have the data, right? And when you organize information, this visual, obviously, I am using here very simple graphs, right? But this is how you can talk about them, okay? Now, pay attention. Thank you, Leonardo. Thank you, Angelini. Thank you so much. Now, moving on, guys. Pay attention. As you can see here, the bars don't touch. Tá vendo? As barras não se tocam. Oh, the bars don't touch. And this is very important. You have to really understand that. No caso dos gráficos em barras, ou colunas, como a gente fala, you have to understand that, pay attention, the bars don't touch. The bars don't touch. Gravem isso, façam isso um mantra. The bars don't touch. The bars don't touch. Repitam isso interminavelmente. The bars don't touch. As barras não se tocam. Because, you know, apples are different from oranges. Bananas are different from oranges. So the categories I have here are totally different one from the other. Não existe uma continuidade. Tudo bem? São coisas distintas. Apples, oranges, grapes, and blah, blah, blah. So why are you calling our attention to that point? Because I want you to understand that I have another kind of graph, which is called the histogram. The histogram. Histogram, for those of you who might have never heard of this word, histogram is histograma. Histograma. Can you see the word is very similar to Portuguese? We say histogram. And a histogram is a kind of graph which is very similar to this graph here, because histograms also have bars. So pay attention, they also have bars. Aí você pode achar, bom, se ele tem bars, ele é um gráfico em barras, but no. So a histogram, eu vou pôr no plural aqui, ó, histograms. So they also have bars, but pay attention. On this case here, the bars will touch. This is the most important characteristic here. So the bars will touch. Quando eu falo will touch, ó, the bars don't touch, as barras não se tocam, elas não se encostam. When I say the bars will touch, quer dizer que as barras se encostam, tá bom? Because I am talking about only one thing, but I have intervals. Então, no caso aqui dos histograms, there are intervals. Existem intervalos, tá bom? Vocês estão vendo o meu exemplo. So, just a moment. There are intervals. Eu estou falando da mesma coisa. Aqui são coisas distintas, ó. Maçãs, apples, oranges, bananas, blá, blá, blá. No caso disso daqui, I will be talking about one aspect, but I have intervals. I divide that aspect into intervals. Por exemplo, eu posso pegar a idade de alguém, age, né, e dividir em grupos etários. Por exemplo, dividir em age groups. De 0 a tantos anos, é o exemplo que eu vou dar para vocês. De 0 a 19, de 20 a 40, de 41 a 50, e por aí vai. So I can divide something into intervals, tá bom? So pay attention to my example here. Just a moment. I am trying to find the example I have here, okay? I just found it. Take a look at this graph here, guys. This here is a histogram. So pay attention. At first glance, significa, sorry, let me correct here. At first glance, can you see? At first glance significa à primeira vista. Oh, at first glance, you can see that you have bars here. Can you see? Bars, columns. Then you might think that this is a bar graph, a bar chart, but it's not. This is not a bar chart. This is a histogram. Somehow, how do you know this is a histogram if you have bars? Simple, because the bars here are touching. The bars are touching. Tá vendo? Here, I don't have several different categories like here. I have just one category, okay? Just one. And here I have frequency. I have the numbers of winners of lottery. So we have age of lottery winners as the title of my graph. A idade dos ganhadores de loteria. And then here we have the number of winners, and here their age groups. Tá vendo que tá tudo organizado em age groups, ó, grupos etários? 19 a 20 anos, ninguém ganhou. No one won the lottery here. But when you go to this interval here, it's different. You have two people, two winners, who are between 20 and 29. So pay attention. Eu não sei a idade desses vencedores, but I can see that two winners, dois dos ganhadores, olha, two winners are between 29 and 20 and 29 years old. Can you see? Eu posso extrair essa informação do meu gráfico, olha. Eu não sei quantos são. Aliás, eu não sei a idade deles, but I know the number of winners. Eu sei quantos estão nesse intervalo aqui, ó. Two winners are between 20 and 29. Anderson, open your microphone, please.
Oh.
Anderson, so Anderson, pay attention to my question. How many winners do I have between 60 and 69 years old?
Deixa eu ver aqui. Tá pequenininho.
How many winners? Okay, how many winners do I have? Eu vou mudar a pergunta. How many winners tinham between 60 and 69 years old?
Aumenta só um pouquinho o gráfico, que o número tá pequenininho para mim.
Tá bom, just a moment.
Oh, tá bom, agora tá bom.
Is it okay now? So the question is here, olha. The question?
Five winners are between 60 and 69 years old.
Tá vendo, guys? Very simple, right? Very simple. So the question is simple. How many winners were between 60 and 69, right? You just take a look at this interval here, and then you go and look for the number. The number is here, the number of winners. It's 5. So just like Anderson said, 5 winners are between 60 and 69, okay? Very simple. I just wanted you to understand the idea. Fala, Anderson.
Se o gráfico tiver girado, por exemplo, se esse gráfico ele tiver girado e a barra estiver na horizontal, tem diferença para chamar o gráfico ou não? Por exemplo, em vez da coluna estar na vertical, se o gráfico, porque existe gráfico de coluna na horizontal, deitado, né?
Assim, eu sei, como se fosse assim, né?
Tem diferença no nome?
Não, em inglês também assim, é bar chart, desde que sejam assim separadinhos, né? Que é a característica fundamental do bar chart, ok?
Ok.
Okay, guys, so now let's practice. Eu comecei com exemplos fáceis, né? So that you could understand the idea, okay? The idea. Now let's move on to some examples here, okay? I'm gonna leave this information here. I'm gonna just make this information a little bit smaller so that I can have more space. Well, so just a moment, I will get another graph here, okay? Eu achei uma coisa interessante aqui antes de mostrar o gráfico. Pay attention, olha. I got this from the internet just to show you. Here you can see the difference between a histogram and a bar chart. Can you see, ó? Eles enfatizam essa ideia aqui, tá vendo, ó? No bar chart, I have bars, okay? And you have gaps between the bars. You have intervals. You can understand gaps as intervals, okay? And when you have a histogram, there is no gap. Tá vendo aqui, ó? No gaps. As barras, elas são coladas because you have the idea of continuity, a ideia de continuidade. é uma variável contínua, tá bom? Os dados são contínuos, as you can see here, separados por faixas, por intervalos, ok? Como é contínuo, por isso que eles não são separados. This is the idea. Now, let's go to one example so that we can practice talking about the graph, okay? Just a moment. Let me try to find the graph here. Just a moment, guys. Okay, it's here. Take a look at this graph here. This graph shows you the divorce rates in Finland and Sweden. Finland é Finlândia. Finland, rates são índices, ó, índices de divórcio. A taxa de divórcio in Finland and Sweden, okay? So Finland is represented by the blue color, and Sweden is represented by the bar, the red bar here, okay? So can you see here, I have different years. I have 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. Pay attention. At first glance, vou falar de novo, ó. At first glance, à primeira vista, you might think that this is a histogram, né? Porque tem barras coladas. Mas não, pay attention. This is not a histogram. This is not a histogram. Por que, professor, não é? Porque lembra que eu falei? No histogram, aqui embaixo é apenas uma única variável, tipo idade. And here you have years. And you have different years separados, tá vendo? Ó? But, Samuel, you have two columns here, two bars. That's because I have two countries. I am comparing two countries, okay? Aliás, the graph is comparing two countries. And you have 2011, which is different from the information you have here, which is different from the other information. Então, embora aqui esteja colado, o que importa é que existe esse espaço aqui, tá vendo? Ó? Então, this is a bar graph too, a bar graph, okay? So having said that, now let's understand this graph here. Well, so as you can see here, just pay attention to the year 2000, just a moment, 2011, this information here, okay? Just pay attention to this part of the chart. What can you conclude from this information here? You can conclude that back in 2011, so in 2011, the divorce rates there in Finland, can you see here, Finland, were lower than the divorce rates in Sweden. So I can say, pay attention, ó, eu estou usando a expressão lower than. Quer dizer, aqui é um L, sorry. Lower than. Lower than significa mais baixo que, okay? So, pay attention to my sentence here, olha. In 2011, Finland's divorce rates, just a moment, be a little bit patient. In 2011, Finland's divorce rates were lower than Sweden's. Aí aqui fica implícito que eu estou falando das divorce rates. Eu poderia escrever, ó, divorce rates. Mas para evitar repetição, em inglês a gente pode fazer o que a gente chama de zeugma, tá? Ó, zeugma. Zeugma é quando eu omito o que já apareceu antes, tá bom? Então, ó, já apareceu escrito aqui, o que eu faço? I can remove this information from here, ok? Fazendo um zeugma daquela informação, ou seja, deixando ela implícita, tá bom? So, in 2011, Finland's divorce rates were lower than Sweden's. Can you see? Lower than Sweden's. But when you compare the trend to this information here, so when you compare, you can see that there was a change, uma mudança, né, over the years. Com o passar dos anos, olha, os anos se passaram. 5 years later, you have another different information here. You have, pay attention, in 2015, Finland's divorce rates. Finland's divorce rates, olha só, em 2015, os índices de divórcio na Finlândia were higher. Tá vendo? Mudou completamente, ó. Eles passaram os da Suécia. So, were higher than Sweden's. Were higher than Sweden's. Eles eram maiores. Eles estavam maiores do que o da Suécia. Can you see? Bom, so pay attention. When you compare these two pieces of information here, you can notice a trend. So pay attention. You can notice that there was a change. So that there was a change. Ok? Você pode notar que houve uma change, uma mudança, né? E você pode falar sobre isso, tudo bem? You can talk about it by saying, houve um aumento nos casos, no índice de divórcio na Finlândia. Ó. Remember, eu falei para vocês lá atrás como que era aumento e diminuição. So you can say, there was. Como é que é aumento? Do you remember how to say aumento? There was an
Increase.
Exactly. So there was an increase in Finland's divorce rates. Aí você fala, com o passar dos anos. Samuel, how do I say com o passar dos anos? You say over the years. Over the years. There was an increase in Finland's divorce rates over the years. Can you see? This is another way of comparing information, okay? Of talking about the information you can see in graphs. And as you can see here, olha só, houve algumas flutuações aqui pelo meio, né? In English, we say fluctuations. Você pode, então, falar ali o meio assim, ó. There were some fluctuations. Em linguajar econômico, eles usam essa palavra, tá bom? There were some fluctuations. Houve algumas flutuações aqui no meio, ok? There were some fluctuations. And the situation changed completely over time. Tá vendo? Era de um jeito, and then it was different when you consider another period of time, or another year in this case here, okay? I hope you could understand what I was trying to explain to you now.
Samuel,
Oi.
Eu posso inverter, no caso daquela primeira frase, colocar na Finlândia, as taxas de divórcio em 2011 eram menores do que na Suécia? Seria, in Finland, the divorce rates divorce rates 2011 were lower than in Sweden.
Were lower there. Yes, you can say like that. É que você tá mudando, falando assim, na Finlândia,
na
né?
Finlândia.
É que eu escrevi assim, tá vendo? Os índices de divórcio da Finlândia, né? É que a única mudança que você está fazendo, na verdade, é que você está falando assim, ó, in Finland, na Finlândia, aí você continua a frase, entendeu? The divorce rates é como se você tivesse posto uma vírgula aqui, na escrita teria uma vírgula, né? So, in Finland, the divorce rates, blá, blá, blá. É a mesma coisa.
Então não tem erro, não, né?
Não tem. É que eu falei assim, ó, os índices de divórcio da Finlândia foram mais baixos que o da Suécia, ok? Well, so, moving on, guys. Just a moment, ok? Let me erase this information from here. Olha só, eu já tenho esses dois gráficos aqui separados, so that I can show you something, okay? So just take a look. Eu vou mostrar o mesmo gráfico, ok? But now, I have them in two other pictures. Can you see, this is just Finland. So when you consider Finland, can you see that the red column has been removed from here? And here you have the arrow pointed upward, showing that you can see over the years, you can see that there was an increase in Finland's divorce rates, okay? And when we look at the other case, Sweden's case, we can see that, pay attention, I have here another graph, and you can see here that now Finland has been removed, okay? And you can see just the situation of involving Sweden. And you can see that there was a decrease, tá vendo? The arrow here is pointed downward. So this is basically what you can see. This is basically the information you can get from this graph here when you compare the two countries, okay? So here I say there was an increase, and here I say that there was a decrease, okay? But now pay attention. I wanna teach you something else, okay? Just a moment. Well, so pay attention. I'm gonna teach you vocabulary, okay? So important vocabulary. When eu vou pôr assim, ó, just a moment, vou arrastar para cá, vou pôr aqui em cima. Just a moment, eu quero que vocês entendam que eu estou fazendo assim, ó, pay attention. Para quando a coisa sobe, aumenta, eu vou usar, ou eu posso usar o que eu vou mostrar aqui, tá? Para quando a coisa diminui, eu posso usar o que eu vou pôr aqui para vocês, ok? So, I can say, for example, let's talk about verbs here, okay? Verbs. So what are the verbs I can use to say that something sobe, right? In Portuguese, say subir, aumentar. Tá vendo? Subir e aumentar. In Portuguese, basically, I have two verbs. So basically, I could say that something increases over the year. The verb is regular, so I just add ed. Increase e aumentar. But I can also say to go up. Go up é subir, ir para cima. Go up é aumentar também, but go up in the past is went up. We say went up, okay? So, for example, remember, aliás, quando eu considero aqui o caso dos divorce rates there in Finland, I can see that they have gone up. Can you see? They went up over the years, or they increased over the years. Can you see? Or eu posso falar increased or go up, and I can also say to soar. Soar. ED. O que é soar, professor? Soar é subir. Tá bom? Subir. So basically, these are the verbs that you can use to increase, to go up, to soar, okay? And on the other hand, when you are talking that something went down, when something decreased, you can use lots of different verbs, okay? So again, let's focus on the verbs we can use, okay? So basically, we can say that something decreased. So the verb is decreased, and it's regular. It's a regular verb, okay? But I can say to go down, the opposite of going up. So go up, subir, go down, cair, okay? You can say fall, cair, propriamente dito, né? Cair. You could say, for example, here, Sweden's divorce rates have fallen over the years, or they fell. Can you see? They fell. Eles caíram. They fell. O passado de fall é assim, ó, fell. Por isso que eu tô falando fell, they fell. Se for uma queda vertiginosa, muito acentuada, you say plummet. Plummet. This is a regular verb too. So now, what is plummet? Plummet é cair, reduzir também. But the difference is that when we use plum, é porque a queda foi acentuada, queda acentuada, muito grande, quando despenca. A gente fala em português assim, despencar. Despencar. No caso aqui de aumentar, quando é um aumento muito expressivo, você fala que a coisa disparou, né? Por exemplo, o preço do tomate disparou no mercado, disparou. Foi lá nas alturas, a gente fala, foi nas alturas. Então, how do I say disparar? Ó, disparar. Ou então, ir nas alturas. Eu estou agora aproveitando, and I'm giving you more vocabulary, ok? No caso de gráficos, a gente não falaria ir nas alturas, mas a gente pode considerar que o dado foi nas alturas, tá bom? O preço de alguma coisa, os juros, por exemplo. Então, por exemplo, imagina que eu falo assim, ó, a taxa de juros aumentou muito, quer dizer, disparou. É um linguajar econômico, eles falam assim, a taxa de juros disparou. O preço do óleo, do combustível aumentou muito, disparou. Então você pode falar que increased a lot, but you can use o verbo específico. And what's the verb? Para dizer que algo aumentou muito, disparou, ou foi nas alturas, você fala que aquilo skyrocketed. O verbo é skyrocket. Ele recebe D. O que é skyrocket? Rocket é foguete. O que um foguete faz? Vai para as alturas, vai para o espaço, tá bom? Então, skyrocket é ir nas alturas ou disparar, tá bom? So, how do I say? A taxa de juros disparou, por exemplo, no mês passado. Ó. No mês passado. In English, I will say, juro em inglês é assim, ó, interest. Interest é juros, tá bom? Então, interest rates, vocês aprenderam taxa aqui, ó, divorce rates, né? As taxas de divórcio, os índices de divórcio. So, ó, taxa de juros é interest rates, disparou no mês passado. I say skyrocketed. Skyrocketed last month. Skyrocketed last month. O preço dos aluguéis, ó, rent prices have, skyrocketed. E assim você vai construindo frases, tudo bem? Então, you can use plummet and skyrocket in these contexts here too, okay? But basically, when we are talking about graphs, I think the verbs you should know, okay, are the verbs to increase, to go up, to soar, to decrease, to go down, and to fall, especially when you are describing graphs. Okay, guys? Any questions? Alguma pergunta?
No.
Não? Ok, so
Não.
eu já estou quase acabando, tá? Aguentem firme aí mais uns 8 minutos, please, ok? Vocês podem ficar aí?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Ok.
Yeah.
Então vamos lá. Just a moment. I want to show you another graph now. It's a bar graph too, okay? Take a look at this bar graph here. This is a bar graph, as you can see, existe gap aqui, tá vendo? Ele é quase invisível, mas você consegue vê-lo, tá bom? Ó, you have here 1991, 1996, 2001, 2006. You have here numbers in percentage, okay? And the bars represent the number of people who said, for example, the green one here represents the number of people that said they are Christians. So the question that was asked is this: what's your religion? What's your religion? Religion. Qual que é a sua religião? What's your religion? The answers were, I am Christian. The other answer, I have no religion. And then you have object to answering. Object is the verb refuse, okay? Object is the same as refuse. Recusar. So object to answering quer dizer que essas pessoas aqui in orange, they refused to answer the question. Se recusaram a responder. And then the yellow bar here represents other religions which are not Christian, okay? So the number of people who said that they were Christians back there in 1991 was represented 70% of the total people interviewed. So you could say, olha, going back to the beginning of our class, o número, I'm going to say in Portuguese, o número de pessoas que disseram que são cristãs lá em 1991 representa 70% do total dos entrevistados. So I could say the number of people who said they were Christian back there in 1991, accounted for 70% of the number of people interviewed, do número de pessoas entrevistadas. How do you know that, Samuel? It's here, tá vendo? 70%, tá em porcentagens, so 70 represents 70% of the total number, ok? Então, remember, accounted for é representava. Então, em 91, o número de pessoas que disseram ser cristãs, né, accounted for 70%. Então, se 100 pessoas foram entrevistadas, 70 disseram que eram Christians, they were Christian, okay? Well, so now, moving on to no religion. Douglas, can you open your microphone, please? Douglas?
Yes.
Douglas, can you tell me the percentage of people who said that they have no religion at all in 2001? I'm going to repeat the question.
Yes,
so,
I understand.
You understand? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Accounted for 30% of the number of the people interviewed, no religion.
In 2001 or 2006?
2001, 30.
30, okay, that's right.
30%.
So could you tell me the entire sentence again, please? 30?
Accounted for 30% of the number of the people interviewed.
Só que tem que pôr o começo aqui, ó. Tem que falar assim, the number of people, é que eu não escrevi, ó. The number of people who said that they are Christians, né? No meu caso aqui eu tava falando dos cristãos, né? Ó. So the number of people who said that they are Christians accounted for 70% of the number of the people interviewed, right?
Right.
Eu poderia tirar the number here falando assim, ó. Just a moment. Eu poderia falar simplesmente assim, ó. Of the people interviewed, né? Tenta fazer assim. Você não pode começar do accounted for, né? Você tem que falar primeiro do que está falando. I am asking you about the people who have no religion. So you start like this, Douglas. The people who said that they have no religion, blah, blah, blah. Right.
The people who said that they have no religion accounted for 30% of the people interviewed.
Quando foi isso? When was that?
2001.
Okay. Thank you very much, Douglas. Well, guys, so that's it. Okay. Now, moving on to the last type of graph. Okay. Último tipo de gráfico. So, just a moment. Let me make it a little bit bigger. There is another one called a line graph, okay? A line graph. As the name shows you, in a line graph, I have a line, okay? But how is that line formed? So I have here, I have some points, okay? Some points, which are connected to make a line or more than one line. I just want you to understand that I have points which are connected, okay? This is very simple, but I think they are good ways to show you information about data that change over time, informações que mudam com o tempo, tá bom? Para comparar como era antes e como ficou depois. They are good for that. So take a look at this graph here. This is a line graph, okay? A line graph. Somehow, how do you know it's a line graph? It's obvious. You have a line here. You have lots of lines, in fact, okay? Can you see here? Again, they are comparing the year 2015 to the year 2019, okay? And how things have changed over time, how they were then and how they are now, okay? So in this case here, you have here, diabetes rate at all regional medical centers. So, medical centers são centros médicos, né, clínicas médicas regionais, e está se falando sobre diabetes rate, ó, o número de pacientes com diabetes, ó, percentage of patients with diabetes, porcentagem dos pacientes com diabetes. You have here average, showing the average involving all medical centers, and you have any town. Está comparando any town com todos os demais. Então, em média, foi isso aqui. Só que any town é um centro específico, a specific medical center. Any town is the name of the medical center, ok? Está comparando o aumento de casos, tá vendo? Você consegue perceber de imediato that there was an increase. So the number of patients with diabetes increased, tá vendo? Ó, eu já vou direto para aquilo que eu poderia falar. Ó. The number of patients with diabetes in this period considered here aumentou, ó, aumentou. Eu poderia falar went up, eu poderia falar increased, okay? So the number of patients with diabetes went up from 2015 to 2019. Eu poderia completar aqui fazendo uma referência ao intervalo de tempo, ó, from 2015 to 2019, né? I can conclude it, but just by taking a look at the graph, okay? Or you could say something like, olha, foi de 2%, 2,6% para tanto. You can say, it went from 2,6% in 2015 para, and then you say, oh, to 5,3% in 2019. Tá vendo? É uma outra forma de você falar a mesma coisa, olha. Ou então complementando a informação de baixo, né? Because, as you can see, I could say, ó, primeiro eu posso falar assim, o geral, que eu posso ver, ó. The number of patients with diabetes went up. Dá para ver de imediato. Went up. From 2015 to 2019. Aí você explica de quanto para quanto, ó. It went from 2,6% to 5,3% over the period considered. Tudo bem? Bom, that's it. Now let's practice. Just one more exercise and then we stop, okay? So take a look at this graph here. This is the exercise, okay? Just a moment, I'm going to erase this information from here. Take a look at this line graph here. This is a very simple one, okay? I just want you to speak, okay? I need a volunteer, okay? Eu não vou escolher ninguém, vocês podem se voluntariar aí, okay? So, we have here Wally's Grammar Book. So, Wally's Grammar Book é o livro de gramática do Wally. O livro de gramática do Wally, okay? The grammar book was released here in 2008. Olha, so the book was released. Samuel, o que é released? Ele foi lançado. So the book was released in 2008. And in 2008, when it was released, can you see? It was a success. Okay, a success. Everybody wanted to buy this book, okay? You can see here on the y-axis, on the vertical axis, the number of books sold in thousands, Pay attention to this information here. It's in thousands, em milhares. Tá vendo? Eu não posso falar que em 2008 foram vendidos 150 livros. Na verdade, foram vendidos 150,000 books, 150 mil livros. Tem aluno que às vezes olha assim e fala assim, foram vendidos, tipo aqui, em 2012 foram vendidos 100 livros, professor. Não, não é 100 livros, é 100,000, 100 mil livros, ok? You have to to consider this information here, okay? Well, so as you can see here, over the years, the number of books sold went down. Can you see? Went down. E foi uma queda acentuada, tá vendo? How do I say queda acentuada? So, vocês já sabem que queda em English é decrease, né? Houve uma diminuição. E que aumento é
Plummet?
decrease. Sim, eu posso falar que they plummeted, né? Caíram. Mas eu também posso falar assim, ó, em português eles usam as palavras acentuado, acentuada, ou então ligeiro. Quando é muito, fala acentuado. Quando é pouco, fala ligeiro, tá bom? Tô pondo aqui. Assim, just a moment. Just a moment, guys. E para finalizar, eu quero falar para vocês como é que falaria isso daqui, ó. Quando é algo acentuado, a gente usa o adjetivo sharp. E quando é algo ligeiro, quando é pouco, a gente fala que é slight. Quando é uma coisa bem leve, quase imperceptível. Tipo assim, ó, houve um aumento sutil. There was a slight increase in the number of blá, blá, blá. There was a slight increase in the number of. Houve um pequeno aumento no número de pessoas fazendo inscrição. Sei lá. Vamos supor que eu falo assim, houve uma queda acentuada. Ó. There was a sharp decrease. Houve uma redução acentuada, blá, blá, blá. Então, here you can see, olha, there was a sharp decrease in the number of books being sold in 2016. Estava sendo vendido? Estava. So, some books were being sold. Estavam sendo vendidos, but when you compare to the year when it was released, there was, as you can see here, there was a sharp decrease. Houve uma queda acentuada in the number of books being sold. Okay? And guys, that's it. That's all